If you grew up in an African household, or anywhere the extended family system still breathes, then you know there is always that one auntie. The one who smiles at visitors and roars at those who live with her. Today, I will tell you a story. A story about wickedness, about the weight of bitterness, and about how sometimes the things we use to hurt others end up turning against us. This is the story of Auntie Mireille's calabash. And trust me, you have never heard anything like it. I was only 10 years old the year my life took a sharp turn and landed me in the town of Abo. My mother always said, "No child knows where their footsteps will lead." But that day, as she hugged me tightly at the bus park, I felt her arms linger too long, like someone sending their child into a storm. Abio was the kind of town where every rooster crowed with attitude, where children ran around barefoot, and every house had a story. But the biggest story of all was housed in the home of my mother's elder sister, Auntie Mireille. When I arrived, she greeted me with a smile so wide I could see the spaces between her teeth. But her eyes told a different story. She squeezed my shoulders, leaned close, and said, "Welcome. In this house, we start work before the sun even wakes." Behind her, her daughter Tola, same age as me, stood picking her fingernails like a bored princess. That was the start. From the very first morning, I woke up to her banging on my door. Auntie Mireille shouting, "Are you still sleeping? Even the birds have started their own work." And so the chores began. Sweeping the corridor that stretched like a football field. Washing plates that multiplied every hour. Fetching water from a well 2 streets away. Cooking breakfast. Cleaning the living room. Meanwhile, Tola? She slept. She laughed. She watched cartoons. She relaxed like the Queen of England while I worked like someone applying for punishment. But I endured. Because children rarely have a choice. Yet, even then, I could feel something strange in the air. Especially in her room. The room that always smelled like pepper. And something else I couldn't explain. Let me tell you the truth. Every African house has that one object you're not supposed to touch. For Auntie Mireille, it was a small brown calabash that sat permanently on her bedroom window. She cleaned it every morning, dusted it every afternoon, polished it every night. But she never allowed anyone close to it. Not even Tola. Whenever she got angry at me. And trust me, that was very often. The calabash shook. Just a little. Just enough for me to question my eyesight. But I ignored it. Until one night. It was close to 10 p.m. I had finished washing plates. My back aching. My eyes begging for sleep. As I walked past her room, I heard the sound. Kura-cuckoo, kura-cuckoo. Something like the slow rumble of a hungry stomach, mixed with the wind whispering secrets. I paused. Then I heard her voice. Low. Strained. Chanting. I leaned closer. Pulled the curtains slightly aside. And what I saw froze my blood. Auntie Mireille was on her knees. Her hands shaking. Her eyes rolled back. And the calabash. That harmless-looking calabash. Glowed faintly like dying fire. She muttered, "If the child refuses to obey, let the ground hold them down." My heart jumped. The next morning, I could not move my legs properly. They felt heavy. Unnaturally heavy. As if someone tied bags of cement to my ankles. And just like that, I knew. My auntie was not just wicked. She was holding something inside that calabash. Something dangerous. Something alive. The weeks that followed were torment. If you've ever lived with someone who wakes up angry and sleeps angry, you understand. But Auntie Mireille, she was different. She didn't just want me to work. She wanted me to break. She started giving me impossible tasks. Fetching water from a well that was almost dry. Cooking food. but locking the fridge so there was nothing to cook with, cleaning the entire compound, and then pouring sand on the floor again. By mistake. She made me iron clothes without electricity, wash plates she had already washed, because I didn't do it the way she wanted. Every day felt like an exam I was designed to fail. And Tola? She watched. She giggled. She pointed whenever her mother shouted. One day, she spilled palm oil on the floor and blamed me. Another day, she tore her own assignment and swore I did it. But the worst came on a Sunday afternoon. Auntie Moreo loved one particular lace wrapper, a purple one, with golden embroidery. Her pride and joy. Tola burned it with an iron. Not just a little. She burned a hole big enough for a rat to pass through. When she realized what she had done, she screamed, "Auntie! Auntie! Come and see, oh! She has destroyed your wrapper!" Before I could open my mouth, before I could even inhale properly, my auntie was standing in front of me, breathing fire. "You this village child!" she shouted. "You want to finish me? After all I do for you?" I tried to speak. "Auntie, I didn't." But she didn't want truth. She wanted a scapegoat. She grabbed the calabash from the window. And I swear, in that moment, the air changed. The wind stopped. The house grew quiet. Even the cockroaches held their breath. She raised the calabash, her eyes wild, her mouth trembling, her fingers shaking. And then, the calabash slipped. The crash that followed was louder than thunder. Pieces of the calabash scattered across the tiled floor, each fragment humming with a dark mist. A black, swirling cloud rose from the ruins. Heavy, thick, alive. Auntie Moreo froze. The mist wrapped around her ankles, climbing up like angry vines. She tried to scream, but her voice caught in her throat. She struggled, fell, and clawed at the floor. "Tubaje pekeo bo, ki odmola." The mist whispered her own words back to her. Her own command was binding her. Tola screamed. I screamed louder. Neighbors rushed in. Mama Saad, the old herbalist from across the street, arrived holding a bundle of leaves and a bowl of water. The moment she stepped into the room, she let out a long hiss. I warned her. Power without control is poison. For the next hour, she battled the spirit, chanting, burning herbs, sprinkling water, breaking the remnants of the calabash. Finally, the mist disappeared, evaporated, gone. But Auntie Moreo? She could not speak for 2 whole days. When her voice finally returned, she asked for me. I entered her room slowly, Tola hiding behind the door. My auntie looked nothing like the woman I had known. Her eyes were soft, tired, human. She held my hand and whispered, "Forgive me. I didn't know what to say." She continued, "I wanted obedience. I wanted respect. I wanted control. But I let bitterness rule me." She wiped her eyes. "The calabash wasn't meant for wickedness. It was meant for protection. But anger turned it into something else." She paused. "Tola burnt the wrapper. Not you." My heart clenched. She handed me a small wooden spoon, the only surviving piece of the calabash. "Take it," she said, "so you never forget. Anything used to control others will one day control the one holding it." My mother arrived the next day. She took one look at me and hugged me so tightly. I felt her heartbeat on my cheek. As we packed, Auntie Moreo stood by the door. Her shoulders slumped, her voice barely a whisper. "Thank you for surviving me. For surviving me." Those words have stayed with me. As we drove away from ABO town, I looked back at the house. The house that once smelled of pepper, fear, and secrets. Now, it smelled different. Like healing. Like regret. maybe even hope. And me? I learned something that day. Something grown-ups rarely tell children. Sometimes, the wicked people in our lives are fighting battles we cannot see. But it is not our destiny to suffer because of their storms. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And tell me, have you ever lived with an auntie like this? Or known someone who used their power the wrong way? Until next time, remember, kindness is strength. Wickedness is weakness wearing a mask.